there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged and my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. My Copyright Act of 1976 is in my description box. And by the way, none of this is ever personal. None of this is ever personal. So we need to quickly recap Carlos King's Mr. Mondays. Apparently, next Monday is going to be the last one of the year and all the things. And it was a little bit of a different Mr. Mondays. There was nobody from Love and Marriage Huntsville to represent. He had the Arenas, Jamie and Arena Tyler from Love Marriage DC on there, as well as Marie from Bell Collective. And I found that very interesting that, you know, each week he's had a representative from Bell Collective, but this is the first week where there's no representative from Love and Marriage Huntsville, no Mel, no Tell, no Trish, no Ken, no Marquez, no Sunny, no Moses from Zoom at the prison. I mean, it was just nobody from Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. But also, Carlos King is switching up now. It's clear to me that he is trying to dictate how these Mr. Mondays go, and he basically, you know, spends all this time talking about his personal life that we honestly do not care about. But I think it gets him off. Like literally, it's like a turn on for him to talk about him, whether he's outside or not, whether he's got a man or not. And then he brings in Dustin to entertain the madness, and then Dustin's talking about his dating escapades and all these things. And it's like, okay, can we get to the review? And it never used to be like this with Dr. Heavenly, you guys. They got straight to the point. And speaking of Dr. Heavenly, she did a live recapping Married to Medicine at the same time as Mr. Mondays, and I knew she had a Tuesdays show as well, but I don't know if this was just special because of the holidays or if she had been doing that, but I found that interesting. Also, Carlos King is promoting the Detroit Lions from the NFL bracelet, and also he has a raindrop bracelet, you guys. He has a bracelet with just a tear on it. Just with a drop. Now, here's Carlos. Here's some sound advice. If you have more than one raindrops, why couldn't you have made the bracelet Pandora style with more drops on the bracelet? If you see this, I know where you're going to get this from. If there is a change to the merch, I know you watch my video. So there's that. Also, they didn't really talk too much Love and Marriage Huntsville compared to Bell Collective. They wanted to congratulate, Bell Collective, congratulate Marie for it being around for another season. The Tylers were hyping up Bell Collective and how real and how raw they are and all this and that. And Carlos King was trying to ask what the current situation was between Marie and Latrice. And she said basically they're cordial. And he's like, well, if you guys are out here going out to eat on triple dates with no cameras around, it looks like it's a good thing to me. It's like they kind of teased the finale, but they really didn't go too much into it because it's supposed to be a big fight between Willie and Glenn. So I guess more to come on that. It's just odd. Next week's already their season finale, and I presume the reunions are probably going to start after the new year because we know that Owen likes to take breaks. So nonetheless, the only scene that they wanted to discuss from Love and Marriage Huntsville was the scene featuring Ken, Marquez, and Trish. And I found that interesting as well because Dustin seemed like he really wanted to talk about, the scene with Mel and Trish. He wanted to talk about, some of the messy stuff that was taking place, and there was no conversation about Mel from Carlos's King's End. There was no conversation about Tell, and I felt that they were very active in the episode in terms of setting up the drama. With Martell, meeting with Destiny and meeting, of course, with the Fletchers, basically saying F the Scots. And then we have, Mel, of course, meeting with Trish, attending the birthday, and then they left the cliffhanger for this upcoming episode in which Mel is going to confront Maurice about the DUI, and he's going to give nothing and gaslight her. But anyways, nonetheless,
Carlos King, he's trying to go up for Trish. I'm a little concerned about this reunion because each week he's been hyping up pretty much everybody in the cast, saying, oh, this person clocked in, and Trish is not good with showing her emotions, but she showed her emotions at this reunion, and da-da-da-da-da, and you're not going to have any questions, and all these things. And I feel like people are going to get their hopes up, and it's going to be a disappointment. I was a little bit shocked that Carlos King was defending Marquez. He acknowledged that there was a lot of people in the fan base who were on Marquez's side, regardless of, the circumstances of him leaving his family and him moving out to Atlanta and everything else, that there was a lot of people who were still pro Marquez. Here's my thing, like I've said plenty of times. It's not about, like or dislike, it's about right or wrong. Marquez is obviously wrong for leaving his family and not being there for his wife, not knowing how to comfort her, console her when she dealt with the deaths of the family, right? But here's my thing. If you are going to have an event featuring the kids and you are trying to play nice with the father, there is some capacity that Marquez is involved in his kid's life. The last thing you need to be doing is having Mr. Boyfriend number 2, Ken, because there's no engagement in sight, there's no marriage in sight, especially when you're still legally married to another man, to be the host and basically telling the people he's the dad, these are his kids, right in front of their father, their actual father. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Listen, people can go in if they thought Marquez was out of order or whatever, his reaction was over the top or he was doing too much for somebody who is not as present as Ken. But my thing is this, like, if you're going to, bring Marquez there and you're going to have his kids there, why insult him like that? And why, basically, compare bleep sizes in front of the kids like that and try to just basically humiliate him. Like, I just felt like that was just completely unnecessary. I just felt like Ken is looking for a moment. And I believe Marquez when he says that Ken is overcompensating. You have Trish, you are taking care of the kids on a primary basis, and it's still not enough for you. There is still something missing. And it's something missing as well on Trish's end because she refuses to let go of Marquez. And I think initially this was supposed to be like, hey, let's make Marquez jealous, but I still feel like she's holding out. There's something about Marquez that she likes, that she would drop everything if it meant, Marquez would do what she wanted him to do. So that's essentially that. Then they went into a whole sermon, you guys, a whole TED Talk about being a primary breadwinner in your family and how that creates, tensions, resentment, and how people feel entitled to your success. The Tylers were talking about how they struggle with a lot of their relatives feeling a certain type of way about their success. They also talked about the fact that their oldest is not on speaking terms with Jamie and hasn't spoke to him for a couple of months because of some other stuff going on, and Marie and the Tylers were just comparing the differences in their kids, the ones that are go-getters, the ones who are trying to be on their grind and about their business versus the ones who maybe got a little bit too spoiled to the point that they're not as motivated to do things and they'd rather lay in bed all day and everything else, and then they just talk spicy when you try to get them to do something. So that was essentially that. Then Carlos King, I don't know who this was supposed to be a shot at, but basically he said he's not going to be humble anymore. And I'm trying to remember when exactly you were humble. Like, you're in the live, and this is the thing too, as a YouTuber, you're flaunting your $40,000 Rolex to the people. You're flaunting this diamond chain to the people. A lot of your audience is not going to be able, you don't know everybody's financial situation, but it was kind of arrogant, Carlos. It was kind of arrogant. Now, nobody told you that you have to wear the Dollar Tree watch or a stopwatch or whatever, but even an Apple Watch is more appropriate. But nonetheless, because I don't find that being humble, it seems like you're compensating too, because you keep trying to prove to the people, oh, I can afford Fendi, I can afford Louis Vuitton. I always call Marlo when I'm shopping, and it just seems like you're trying to do this retail therapy with all these designer brands to try to prove something. And it's like, if you got it, you got it. Stop trying to, overcompensate and prove to the people that you have money, that you have success. Nobody questioned that. We're questioning what this cast is getting paid. And then Carlos King also, finally, I wanted to say, got into his feelings and wanted to say, well, I made some of your reality stars millionaires. I've made your some of your fave reality stars on the map. I presume he's talking about the reality stars on Bravo, because definitely on Love and Marriage, the franchises, and Bell Collective, I don't see that same energy. It sounds like Marie was already successful. It sounds like Latrice was already successful. And even Marie said in this live that there's several businesses that she has that's not even being featured. That she's making tons of money. So nonetheless, I don't understand why Carlos King gets on this soapbox, and I don't understand why he is creating this environment where he wants anybody who has worked for him on a reality show to quote unquote owe him something. And it's like, okay, so you're just going to take credit for anybody that becomes the next Nene or Kenya Moore or Melody Cherie Rogers or, you know, whomever. You want all the credit, you want all the praise. But then when people are dragging the show, when people are giving constructive criticism about the show, you want to insult the fans and tell the fans that you're not going to change anything about the show. And you only want to, you know, adhere and tend to the needs of all the Bravo shows. And that's frustrating too, because you're going to every single Tom, Dick, and Harry Christmas party if it features even just one Bravo celebrity. And it's like, where are the Christmas parties and the events for the people on your own shows? The reason that they come for you, Carlos, is because you treat them like redheaded stepchilds. And even the Tylers were asking, okay, when is our show coming back? Because last time you basically ignored them for a year, for like 10 months, and did not give them that information. And then you threw in Detroit before they came back. But he was like, oh, there'll be announcements soon. But it's like, you just treat these people like it's just, you know, an afterthought, but you get excited as if you were desperate to try to prove to Bravo, hey, I can still run and executive produce a show. Please hire me back. Please take me back. And it's like, if you put that much energy and focus into your own cast members of all of your shows, and you created an environment where there's holiday parties, where there's work functions to where people can bond together, even if there's issues, even if there's petty social media stuff, but it's events to where it's forcing the cast to still interact with each other, I think we would see a lot of a different show. But everything is so negative and dark and divided that pretty much people just come in to film and that's it. They don't talk to these people outside of filming, and it's awkward. So nonetheless, those are just my thoughts. That was the extent. Like I said, it really wasn't much of a review. He claims he's going to have an extravaganza next week of some special guests. It doesn't sound like that's going to be much of a review either. It's going to be more about Carlos King's personal life and more about some shenanigans and less about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And it's like, isn't that your baby? Isn't that your number one show and own for the last 4 years? Why are you trying to pivot away from it? What's really going on, right? And I still am waiting for the renewal because, again, you know, ultimately, sorry, my alarm's going out. I gotta go. Yes, the show resumes filming in January, but it seems that you are trying to present this as a quote-unquote new season with these episodes that have come back over these past few weeks, as if to try to present to own, hey, we need to be renewed, and this and that. So it's going to be interesting how this all plays out, because I still feel that between the revenge P and who knew about it, I still feel between the lawsuit that's taking place with Maurice and whether or not, you know, Owen's, you know, involvement and everything else, what the outcome of that is going to be. I just feel like all these factors and the DUI and the unfortunate passing of Kiki, like all of these things, it's like this cloud. And then you have Stormy quitting, you have Tiffany quitting, you have other people who feel like they're going to quit or have almost quit or maybe potentially quitting after this reunion. And it's just a lot. It is just a lot going on. It is way too much chaos for a number one show. The boat, everything should be running a lot more smoothly than what it is. And it just seems like people are just trying to do the bare minimum just to hang on. And it's going to blow up in smoke at some point. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, because I don't consider this a new season at all. I consider this a continuation of whatever the existing episodes that were ordered, but they're going to basically parlay these last set of episodes, including the reunion episodes, to present, hey, this is why we need to renew the show. Hey, the demographics for Black women are high, but the ratings are low. So nonetheless, there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.